I can guarantee you they start releasing new Jordan shoes because that's the business he's in. I love the fact that as LeBron goes out of the game, Michael Jordan's coming back into the game. That right there will be worth watching.
First of all, is somebody going to go undefeated again in the NFL?
No one's going undefeated. Well, the number one reason is it's not important. Number two reason is the season's too long. And no one cares.
Flag football, 2028. Do you think a lot of guys, NFL guys, are going to try out? They want to play?
Absolutely. They would be crazy not to. I get to play against the world. I'm already playing against the world because there are no better football players anywhere in the world than the National Football League. How do I know that? Because if they could, we would have went and got them.
All right, guys, welcome to Fully Loaded episode number 52. Chris Carter, how you doing, my brother?
Good, bro.
Good, man. You ready?
I'm ready.
So I find myself already thinking about the NFL season.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, you're alive. Yeah, you're a sports
You're
fan.
live.
Yeah, you're
I
smart.
start thinking about who I like, who I want, who I believe that I can make some money with. This is my year to make money in the NFL, Chris. I decided this is my year.
Okay,
This is Sean Mike's year to make money in the NFL. College football's been good to me. NBA not been good to me, but the NFL's gonna be good to me this year. The Bills are the only team right now favored. If you take schedule, look at the whole to win every game this NFL season. Okay. We talked about it last week about their schedule, strength of schedule. It's pretty easy. Josh Allen, what they missed. But as far as your thoughts, Chris, first of all, is somebody going to go undefeated again in the NFL?
No.
How come?
Well, the number one reason is it's not important. Number two reason is the season's too long. And at the end of the year, if I already have home field advantage, I mean, given the divisions, the way the divisions mapped up, somebody's going to have a 2 or 3 game lead with 2 weeks to go. Why would you be jeopardizing your starters and everything? So, yeah, there's some continuity going into the playoffs, but no one's ever going to go.
Why was it so important before? It was important to the Dolphins and the Patriots, right?
We have to realize, okay, first of all, the Dolphins had a shorter schedule.
Got it.
And the Dolphins were still in that. They were trying to develop as a legendary team where they had some disappointments and stuff before. But they had a nucleus of guys that were together. And at that time, you know, and still today, they had one of the greatest coaches in Don Shula. So, I mean, their style for which they were going about it, the defensive heavy, running the ball, 2 running backs, controlled passing game, you know, like it was able to get accomplished. I think because they had failure before and the season was shorter, it pushed them into the greatness of being undefeated. New England, it just happened. They got on a roll. Now, at the end of the season, Belichick was standard. He's going to play his guys at the end of the year. So it just happens.
Because that's what he did.
Yes.
He just played his guys. You're going to be ready for playoffs, I'll play you.
Yes.
Okay.
So it just happened that they end up getting through the end of the season without a loss. And they also had one of those games in there against the Giants that end up derailing them. They end up blowing out the Giants late in the season, which also gave the Giants a test.
Correct.
And also the embarrassment of it. So once they got to the Super Bowl, but no one's going undefeated, and no one cares.
Yeah, but that's the thing to me. Like when you said to me at the end of last year, when you're like, "Yo, they're not going to play Barkley," the first time you said it to me, and everybody was saying it on TV, I was like, Barkley's going to play. He's going to go for rush. He's going to play because I'm just trying to. I've never been in that position, but I'm thinking. Obviously, they went on and won the championship. Life's good. But people just don't – guys don't care about those records. They cared before. I know it worked out for the Dolphins page, but they cared. Did Bill Belichick care about being undefeated?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
yes.
Bill Belichick cared. So if it's, pick it don't matter. Pick Andy Reid, he can rest his guys and be ready for a championship.
And because also we learned from Belichick. We realized that you can win 18 in a row. You don't get anything for that.
You still don't win a championship.
Yeah, I was on a team that went 15-1. We didn't get anything either. We had 2 games during that season we didn't score more than 27 points. We lost both of those. Won the NFC Championship in overtime to the Falcons, and the other one, week number 9 in Tampa Bay. 1 o'clock kickoff, hot, steamy, a good Tampa Bay team. But no, it's not important. It's not.
Nobody's walking around 20 years later saying I was on an undefeated team.
No, it's not going to happen.
But that championship and a Hall of Fame deal, they can't take away from you.
All those things are permanent.
Yep.
And you have to learn from the New England example, because they were the greatest example in sports of regular season compared to postseason. Now, they would have had the cherry on top, not only being world champs, they would have been undefeated.
Correct. Just didn't work out that way.
Yeah. No, the game doesn't work out that way.
All
No one cares.
So here are 2025. I want you to let everybody know what you think on some of these odds. I want to get and I want a sleeper. I want a team that nobody is putting money on right now, or a lot of money. You got the Eagles and Chiefs are favorites, plus 600. Ravens, Bills, Lions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your top 5. You had to pick one of those 5. Who would you pick? They're all pretty close. 600, 700, plus 900.
Ravens,
Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, or Lions.
I'm either going to go with the Bills or the Lions.
Okay.
Philadelphia had wholesale changes, and I do believe that Kansas City is not as good as they used to be. And I believe the way they got exposed in the Super Bowl, I believe that they've addressed that for an offensive line standpoint, but that will be an ongoing theme for them moving forward, how physical they can be or their lack of physicality.
So you think the Bills are a good bet?
I think the Bills are the best bet. My next bet out of that, I'm a little concerned about Detroit, but they really got a good team, and they got a lot of good players.
You're concerned because the coaches?
The coaches, the changes, like you lose offense and defensive coordinator. We saw what happened to Philadelphia a couple years ago when they lost their offense and defensive coordinator. But still on paper, man, you gotta give Philadelphia, the defending champs, you got to give them something.
Dude, if the Bills make the Super Bowl, whoever the hell they play better buy their tickets early, because that place is going to be full of Bills Mafia people losing their minds.
Yeah, where's Super Bowl this year, Andrew?
Where is it, Drew?
Let's get it.
Dude, that is going to be ridiculous.
In the next,
and good for them. I'd like to see. I mean, Detroit too, dude. But
I am going to tell you, there has been a Buffalo bias the last 3 preseasons. Like,
bias as far as what we're talking about here.
Yeah, people think it's like, okay, man, it's their year. Now, every year but last year.
Well, it's not
because they lost Diggs, they lost some other pieces, lost some defensive pieces. So then it was like, okay, Buffalo's going to step back. And then they improved with less personnel.
Correct. Well, even like the Chiefs are favored to win every game but Buffalo.
Yes.
Because there's a Chiefs bias.
I can say that.
Where's that, Drew? Where?
San Francisco.
San Fran. It's a long trip for them. They'll make it out there.
Oh,
they'll start driving 2 weeks beforehand.
The Bills, I can see them dripping off cars into tables right now. Bills Mafia. Today. It's
be
preseason
ugly.
For them.
Be careful.
Camp, they're going to be getting ready.
In the Super Bowl, they'll start drinking on Thursday. So if they're playing your
Thursday.
team.
You mean this Thursday?
Yeah,
in May,
this Thursday for the Sunday.
When
Bills Mafia, it'll be
when
a
they
wrap.
start seeing these prop bets come out, they're going to start chugging.
Ain't no doubt about it, dude. All right, so give us let's take the middle of the pack. Got Niners, Bengals, Commanders, Rams, and Packers. That group would be is there a legitimate shot for any one of those teams to win a championship?
Washington.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels.
At 16-1, you like Washington.
Now, if Jaden Daniels can get his mom to pass protect,
ain't nobody gonna touch him.
The way that she keeps them women away from him, if she was playing left, right, tackle, center.
Is she a Hall of Fame mom keeping the women away from him?
Absolutely.
Already in the Hall.
Man, listen. A
first
woman,
ballot.
But this is the greatest thing. A woman knows a woman.
Well, she doing her job. He ain't got no problems.
Do you know how many dads we have gone around and been hovering over kids and doing stuff crazy? Now we have a mom that's doing things the right way, business savvy, controlling his brand. She's letting them live. Like, she's letting them live, but she's just like, listen, I'm going to be here
she's letting them live,
for the ride.
I'm right here.
Right. I'm not stupid. And I used to be a younger girl.
I know what's up.
I love that.
She run her own class, her own course, teach other people how to do this.
Absolutely.
She's doing a hell of a job. Seriously. She should run a program, open her own agency, You always teach people what she's doing.
Or what we should do is the league. And this is the problem because some of the parents, they get jealous because of status and everything. But she is the type of person that should be speaking.
Yeah.
Like at the NFL Combine.
Where you used to talk about it.
If you go to the bowl game and you're trying to get people together, like she should be a person that should be giving advice to future moms, hoochies, everything else out there in that world.
And she has no problem talking about what she's doing.
No.
And letting everybody out there know you want to get
it's
to him.
Amazing.
You got to come through me. You want to get to him, you got to come through me.
It is amazing. I love it.
And if you're ready, you're ready. All right, let's take – I'm not going to go back down to Titans, Giants because, I mean, you'd throw your money away to bet on those. But I'm going to give you 3 more. Broncos. This is your next group after that. Vikings, Broncos, Buccaneers. I love the Broncos this year, by the way, but I'm also biased. I kind of like them.
Listen, man, mention those teams again.
Broncos, Vikings, Bucks.
Okay, Denver and the Bucks haven't done anything for a long time.
I know.
The Vikings just won 14 games.
In the regular season, yeah.
The Vikings got one of the better coaches in Kevin O'Connell in the NFL. Mm-hmm. What he's done with the offense, their only question mark is J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So out of that group, Minnesota is truly superior. Now, their division, it's a knockdown drag.
Bloodbath, yeah. So the Broncos.
I mean, so to me, the Vikings, now I'm going to tell you, because people don't watch this, but Minnesota did what Kansas City did. Minnesota acted as if they got embarrassed by Philadelphia without playing them. So they fortified their offensive line and their defensive line. Mm-hmm. They got some – this, I believe, will be one of the best front offensive line, defensive line Minnesota's had in 20 years.
Okay.
Now, we know they got skilled people, but I'm just telling you, they are so much improved on their offensive line. Watch what Coach does with J.J. McCarthy.
What do you think, Snap McCarthy? Do you think he's a guy that can do this?
No, I think he's going to be a quality – and I think last year helped him.
Okay.
Because there is a tremendous learning curve from Michigan football and the way they played the game to playing in the NFL. I mean, he had a game in college his junior year where he didn't throw a pass, and it was good weather outside. Right. So there's only one reason why you do that. Mm-hmm. It's either you're playing against a team that is so bad, or
you're better off handing the ball off. I mean, I'd rather let him run it than you throw it. I love you, but I want to win a game.
The coach told me that. What, did you talk to the coach? No, based on the game plan.
You never told
his game. He told me.
They all want to win, as you say. Everybody want to win.
Yes.
And this side will hand the ball off instead of you throwing it.
So to me, I think out of that middle pack, a team that I think a team also I watch very, very closely, but what they've done in the offseason, the adjustment they've made so that they can be, because last year at the end of the season we saw the Rams manhandle them, and we also saw Detroit manhandle them. Week 16, 17, or week 17, 18. Last year we saw that. We saw Philadelphia, what they did in the Super Bowl. So if you want to get NFC Championship and win that, you're going to have to be more physical. And my Vikings will be far more physical than they have been the last 5 years.
This could be their year.
They are far more physical. I'm still worried about the quarterback.
If the quarterback plays good,
yeah, they're in there.
They're good.
You'll be shocked. People will be shocked as good as the Vikings are.
But based on what you're hearing, is the quarterback play for McCarthy that good?
Yes.
It is.
And the thing about it, last year, he was playing well. So it's not as if he didn't get any reps. Mm-hmm. And some of the other veteran players, especially, talking to Keenan McCardle, who's the wide receiver coach, talking to Justin Jefferson, like he's very, very excited about the potential of what JJ can do.
And having Justin Jefferson don't hurt.
Just a little insight.
That don't hurt. No. Drop back and throw the ball to him. All right, so flag football.
Mention Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be the kingpin for this.
Well, he's a kingpin, period.
Yeah.
He does make you look good. When you can just drop back and throw it to JJ, it does make it a lot better.
Right.
People are like, man, it's a good game. I'm like, yeah, but that guy behind the plate's really mother freaking good, dude. He frames every pitch. He does really well. He makes you look a lot better than you think. So it is nice to have a dude you can throw the ball to, no doubt about it. All right, 2028, flag football. Mm-hmm. Well, I want to read some because I'm confused. I need you to interpret this for me because I consider myself intelligent, and then these rules confuse me, but I want you to break them down for me. So the pass is NFL says you can play, subject to negotiation of a Players Association, Olympic related entities, yada, yada. permission for any player under NFL contract to participate in tryouts. A limit of 1 player per NFL team on each national team participating. So that means you're telling me 2 guys from the Eagles can't play on the USA team?
No.
Okay, so 1 guy can.
Yes.
Okay, so they do the tryouts. First of all, do you think a lot of guys, NFL guys, are going to try out? They want to play?
Absolutely. They would be crazy.
All of them.
I get to play against the world.
Gold medal.
Well, this is the thing. I'm already playing against the world.
Correct.
Because there are no better football players anywhere in the world than in the National Football League.
Correct.
How do I know that? Because if they could, we would have went and got them.
They'd be here playing football.
So now I get ready to play against other countries who think they play football. Oh my God! If I'm current player, I'm all over.
You're dying for it. Okay, so but you can't. Why can't? Because it's some competitive advantage. Why can't more than 1 guy? If Justin Jefferson was on the team with Josh Allen, they couldn't both play for the USA.
Well, I think that's part of the owners coming together and being part. You know something? We need to spread this out. Like, we don't need to have 2 Eagles,
We need our
2
guy.
Cowboys.
We need a lot of guys, a lot of representation from our teams.
Yes,
Brown,
teams.
so-and-so.
You want all of us to buy in, let's do teams.
Okay.
Because then you don't have to worry about the most popular things like that happen. Like, you can really put the best product
So a guy
out
could
there.
get screwed by being on the wrong team if there's another guy, but he can't make the team if they need to pick quarterback so-and-so.
If it was like, say if we were doing basketball, basketball's always been an international sport, and you're in the Michael Jordan era, you're going to miss out on Scottie Pippen. Mm-hmm. So
which would have sucked.
Yes.
For everybody.
But
Pippen,
it just
US,
lets you know the surplus of players that we have that we can do.
And also
that.
lets you know the control the owners got and how smart they are and how intentional they are about the shit they do.
Well,
the brand.
They're trying the brand.
You always
We're
trying to build the brand.
push the 32 teams and not trying to push any player above the 32 teams.
All right. So in addition, a team's designated international player can play for his home country. How many guys actively in the NFL, their home country isn't the United States of America? Well, I mean, roughly what percentage?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know the percentages, but for skilled guys, we're talking about skilled guys.
Yeah, they're here. We ain't talking about offensive linemen. We love you, but if you're in Germany, you're in Germany. We're talking about the skills guys. Guys that catch the ball, run the ball, throw the ball.
Yeah.
Has anybody got any chance to compete with these guys that flag football? No. Salary cap.
No.
Credit. No, they have no shot. I'm going to bet on that one now. I wonder what the odds are that. We got to find out that, Drew. It'll be 88 million.
Imagine an NFL wide receiver scooting across the middle. Okay, now listen.
Yeah.
Now you can't touch him at all.
No, you can't. No, exactly. It don't matter what the rules are, how physical you think you're going to get. No.
It's like being a trained matador, and we take the horns off the bull.
Dude,
we put a blindfold on the bull.
Did I tell you I went to a bullfight in Madrid?
No.
That was so I thought I'd never been, so I said I'm going to go. And I thought, man, what an interesting deal this must be. They sell it as man versus
until
beast.
You get there. Go ahead.
And let me explain why because when you get there, if there's going to be an altercation, right? If John Jones walks in, he's like, I want to fight. Well, ain't really much of a fight. Like, you're like one of the baddest dudes in the history of the world. So the bull comes in, they do the whole ceremony, and then I look and there's all these wooden, and I'm trying to figure it out, I've never been. 8, 9 guys. One guy's got the red thing there, a bunch of them got swords and stuff. Horse, the guy's on an armor. And dude, they literally let him run around and don't get near him really. And then they hide behind this wooden thing and it gets tired. There's like 8 dudes to 1, and they'd already snipped before it got in.
Oh, yeah,
They
absolutely.
got so it couldn't, and people were cheering. I'm like, dude, it was 12 against 1, and it never stood a chance.
They handicapped the race.
They handicapped, and they did everything. And then the horse, it hits the horse, tries to get up the horse, and the guy on top of the horse has a spear. Like, and so it's like, after a couple, I'm like,
it's brutal.
I'm like, dude, but it is brutal. But it's not a sport. There ain't no chance. That's like the Vikings are like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to warm up with Timmy's elementary school team this weekend.
Eden Prairie High School.
Yeah, exactly. You come down and maul them. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? It was definitely not remotely fair. All right. So I don't know what the sport was about it. And they weren't at any risk either. You got to be at risk. There was zero risk. Mm-hmm. Zero risk. I've ridden a bull and fell off it. I got hurt a lot worse than what they were doing. Like that, it was zero risk. All right. A schedule that hold on. And the salary cap. What's a salary cap credit for any player who's injured? What does that mean?
Well, because when the Olympic happens, it happens right before training camp.
Got it.
So they're going to give you relief to be able to replace that spot. Almost.
Oh, got
like
it.
NBA.
So your team, if somebody gets hurt, okay, well, okay,
Yes.
okay. Owners are thinking. Expectation: Olympic flag football teams will establish medical. I got that. Schedule does not unreasonably conflict with the NFL. Los Angeles Summer Olympics, July 14th. Who do you think is going to be on this? Like, who is your starting flag football team for the gold medal winning USA team in 28? Who do you think the quarterback's going to be? Who do you think the skills guys are going to be?
Lamar Jackson.
So Lamar Jackson's your guy at quarterback.
Tyreek Hill. Justin Jefferson. Jamar Chase. My man Brock, the tight end for the Raiders.
Heward, is it? Yep. Okay,
Yep.
Heward, yeah.
Josh Allen, one of those guys besides Lamar.
Who's going to cover him?
Oh man,
Well, nobody's going to cover them. But for the U.S., who's going to be your?
Let's go a little Patrick Surtain.
Jeez.
Let's go with him. Watch for the corner for New England, Gonzalez. Like he might play for. I think he's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So he might be another player that plays internationally. But man, we have the best of the best as far as cover guys, quarterbacks, skilled guys. I mean, an underdog guy could be a guy like Puka, a guy like Ladd McConkey. Those guys can really run. You know, so it's the embarrassment of riches. But I expect, especially JJ, Justin Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek Hill, like all of these except Chase, I have heard verbalized, I want to play.
Okay. Chase said he has, or he hasn't said.
I just didn't hear him, but I just know him and Justin. They are the two dudes.
Correct.
And for their brand and what they like to do, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like we have a couple pocket quarterbacks, a couple running quarterbacks. Like, but see then you go, if you get a receiver, you can't have a quarterback.
Correct.
So
Burrow ain't going if you got Chase.
Probably not.
Unfortunately. Sorry, Joe. You on the right team, but the wrong team for this. So, but it from a business standpoint, it's interesting how intentional they are. But it will be cool to watch.
Okay, now listen to me very carefully.
I am.
The wild card pick for the American team, it's got to be Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. We're in 25. He'll be coming out.
Okay.
He's got 2 more years.
He's a problem.
What?
He is a problem. I know. I mean,
no one I've even talked to even mentioned him.
Dude,
he would have been the first receiver drafted this year as a freshman. So the Olympics, Jeremiah Smith would be on the Olympic team.
Dude, remember when we were doing that? Remember I was doing that group? I was doing a call with all these guys. Had nothing to do with football. Remember that? And I was like, yo, and I had said something about I had to hurry up and get on the podcast. And the guy had Ohio State gear, like head to toe on the call. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to be on the podcast. I said, you want to know who it's with? I said, Mr. Buckeye, I'm going to give you a shot. And we hadn't even started yet, so you would not have known. I said, greatest wide receiver, my opinion, played Ohio State. He said, Jeremiah Smith's at your house? And I said, now you understand, this is early. So I said, Jeremiah Smith. I said,
hadn't touched the field.
Yeah, I'm like, so I'm looking him up. I'm like, that dude didn't even play. Are you kidding me? He said, I'm just telling you. And he was an Ohio State guy. He said, is it Chris Carter? I was like, yeah. He said, man, them are 2 the best ever. I said, he ain't even played yet. He goes, when he starts playing, well, I've been watching him since he was a kid. I'm telling you. And this guy, hey, he had Ohio State socks on, shoes on. So he definitely was doing the best he could.
Qualified.
Whether he's been trained, he was qualified to observe. So, yeah, he is a dude. He is definitely a dude. It'll be interesting to watch, man.
Jeremiah Smith, 2028 Olympics. After potentially being the first pick in the draft.
That would be badass. You know what I just saw a picture of is Marvin Harrison Jr. He is yoked now, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Absolutely.
He's not messing around.
He's only going to get better. When he got to Ohio State, he was only a 3-star player. He worked himself into being 2-time All-American.
He's to work himself into getting out of Arizona.
Well, I mean, this is a conversation because I was with Larry Fitzgerald the whole time. And from every time, now Dennis Green drafted him, so I had a little more confidence then, but every time we have a conversation, man, when you getting out of there? He's like, Uncle Chris, man, I'm going to stay here the whole time. When you getting out of there,
bro?
He made a lot. Now, he's a different type of guy. He stuck with the organization, but turned out to be successful, got a couple more years, and he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I feel bad.
His staying paid off, despite of what his Uncle Chris was telling him the whole time. Get the hell out of there.
He still worked out. He's still going to be a Hall of Fame guy.
Oh,
but what he could have done. Well, you look at, and I've gone to watch him play a few times because I love to go see Zay Jones play, and he with Arizona. And dude, I mean, I love Kyler Murray. He giving it his heart out, bro. But, like, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that I think people are stereotypically about certain positions, but how do you play that position at that height?
He's a freak athlete.
He is,
but then
dude.
the problem is you get to the league and you run all these other freaks.
Everybody's a freak athlete. How do you even play a game where I couldn't imagine pitching on the mound and not being able to see home plate. I mean, how you doing? I'd be like, I don't know. I'm giving it a shot. I'm going to see what's happening.
5-0. Dude makes 50 million. 5-0.
I know.
Dude makes 50 million.
I know.
Guess what? I don't care if I can see nobody. I'm getting ready to go up there and throw my little thumbs. I'm
poor-
getting ready to throw this thing.
I tell you what, bro. I love him.
Until somebody sends me home.
See him in the pocket, he's not moving. I'm like, you won't see shit. You know you can't see shit. I can't see shit from where I am.
No.
You just throwing a football, hoping somebody's
It
there.
is a true detriment to playing the position at an elite level.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have elite anticipation.
Yeah.
Like if you want, what is the model? Drew Brees. But Drew Brees is not holding that ball, man. Drew Brees, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go.
Correct. All right, so we talk about the WNBA and viewership. We talk a lot of numbers. The Caitlin Clark game had 2.7 million viewers on ABC. It peaked at 3.1. Now, we know that's nothing in regards to what does the NBA get, Drew? What's a peak? Like, what do they get in a regular season game?
No, that's a tremendous rating for a regular season men's basketball game, anything except like NCAA tournament. That would outrank even a lot of the NCAA tournament games.
Okay, so RG3 and Ryan Clark are going back and forth with each other, and I'm not a big fan of telling people how to feel, but they seem pretty pissed off about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the argument they got going on.
Right.
And, you know, obviously Caitlin fouled her and they got an argument. So RG3 basically said that he tweeted that Angel Reese's actions seemed to stem from hate, jealousy, and resentment toward Clark. Comment didn't sit well. I'm sorry, resentment. And then the comment didn't sit well with Ryan Clark. And then he went back at him.
Right.
And said, man, a broader trend of denigrating black women.
Yeah.
You took X further and add him to the list of black men who've adopted the corny trend of denigrating black women to affirm their choices. And then RG3 got mad because he thought he was coming at his wife because his wife's white.
No, he was.
Okay,
he's been married twice. Both of his wives were white.
Okay.
Just for information and context standpoint. The number one thing that RG3 did that was a mistake was he said that Angel Reese hates Caitlin.
Correct.
And Angel Reese is going on record as saying, I don't have anything against Caitlin. But I was in a huge basketball tournament last week, 60 and over. We ended up winning it. I made the all-tournament team.
Good work, bro.
And I got fouled, and I fouled a couple guys hard. And I don't think the guys responded to me because I was black, white, or like anything different. It's one of those things. If you foul a guy hard in competition, he knows what happened.
Correct.
So she responded regardless of what color the other person was. So RG3 made a huge mistake in saying she hates her when you don't know that. And then he said, I know hate when I see it. You might know hate when you see it, but you can't identify something from your TV screen.
Correct.
Like,
and you don't know the people, and they're not talking to you. You're not involved.
You've been in competition. So that was a huge mistake. Then Ryan Clark trying to, and the reason why I have an interesting perspective is because I was married to an African-American woman for 25 years. And now I'm married to a lady. She doesn't like to be called white.
Okay. She's not African American though. Let's
She's not
say that. She's not African American. Yeah, she watches, so don't call her something she don't like.
She's Armenian.
Okay.
And I'm not making fun of that, but I'm telling
you're clarifying.
If she was here,
you're clarifying that she's Armenian.
Right. So when he mentioned, hey, you're not having conversations about black women at your house because your wife is white, his second wife, his first wife was white. Now, my wife is white. We talk about black women. Number one is because I was married to one.
Correct.
Number two, my daughter is one. And it's really a good conversation. So it's not like you don't have those conversations. For number one, Ryan Clark could be wrong in his assessment.
Yeah, he might be talking about it. You don't know.
Everything we've gone through as far as social unrest, everything we've gone through as far as Trump, you think people aren't sitting around in their houses talking about different races than what they are, or asking questions? Enlighten me on something. Tell me something. So Ryan Clark, he was wrong in doing that because then RG3 took it as a personal attack. Now, the thing that people don't know behind the scenes is Ryan Clark and RG3 were teammates on Washington.
Who don't like each other. Who didn't like each other.
I'm just going to tell you this.
Teammates.
Man, Ryan Clark is a dude.
Yeah.
RG3, I don't know what he is.
Clark's a dude, you're not sure what RG3 is.
I'm not sure.
Okay, got it.
And I could see why they could be like oil and water. Like I could see that. So not only were they teammates in Washington, but RG3 joined ESPN and ended up working with Ryan Clark a lot on Monday Night Football. So not only have I been around you in a work environment, now we've transitioned over and I'm working with you. And there's a reason, excuse me, there has to be a significant reason why a young quarterback who was the first pick in the draft had a significant enough career, but is young enough and healthy enough that he could still be playing.
Oh, he's not playing.
I was at a Rich Eisen charity event in Los Angeles, and we were running the 40-yard dash to running with Rich and raise money and stuff. Dude ran a 4.5. I'm like, why aren't you playing?
He still ran a 4.5?
No, he ran a 4.5. Because he was a track All-American at Baylor and everything. I'm like, why the heck aren't you playing? Like, this don't make sense. You shouldn't be talking about football. You should be playing football. So anytime that transition where you have a young player who should be playing, there's a reason why he's not playing, and then ESPN ends up letting him go. So Ryan Clark has all that information. So now we have this encounter. So Ryan Clark has a lot more information about him, and he has history with him. So then you can see that he definitely does not like RG3.
No, when he said he didn't like him as a teammate, he was straight up about, like, you weren't a good teammate. We were teammates, you weren't a good teammate. And then RG3 said to ESPN, what does he want ESPN to do about it? Said ESPN needs to come, that's not appropriate, it's not okay. I just don't understand. I guess what I'm trying to ask you as a guy to been in the media, play pro ball, like I've learned over my course of time not to tell people how they feel because it's how they feel.
Well, I've learned through mistakes on TV, doing things through the years. But
even just me, like day-to-day life, like don't tell me how to feel.
Yes.
And also, if you've never been in that person's shoes, you really don't know until they tell you how they feel. So you guessing that it's complete bullshit because you don't know. You've never walked in them. And I think the thing about the WNBA is, dude, this is really, by the way, 2.7. It's really good. This competing, it's like, can women not compete and then not hate each other? Like, neither one of them's ever said they hate the other one of them.
No.
Neither one. They compete. They both seem to want to win.
But this is the thing, though. Why do we have to make women so different than men?
We don't.
Like, why are we trying to separate? Like, we never tell. Like, we don't care if a baseball player throws at a guy's head.
Correct.
We don't care. We don't care. It's like, okay, it's part of competition.
Correct.
They'll get over it, maybe a little dust up and everything, but they will get over it, and they will keep playing.
Dude, and the reality is the basketball that you watch now in WNBA, dude, it's good.
And
it's good. When people would say to me, being a Connecticut guy, they'd be like, you watch women's basketball? I was like, yeah, dude. Like, back a long time ago, you're talking about Sue Bird, Dinah Taurasi. Like, dude, it was really good, and I don't think the rest of the country had because they were like, well, that's slow and it's boring.
Well, one thing that people are missing out on, the skill level
is ridiculous.
And if you look at the NBA players and how much skill they have developed, these women are hooping. They're watching the same videos. They're going through the same coaches. Their skill level with a smaller basketball is equal to the growth of the men's game. But we don't want to give the women credit, like their ability to pass the basketball, their ability to shoot the basketball. They do everything but the NBA but dunk. They do everything. Their skill level, their ability to understand the game, play the game, defensive intensity, contest shots, all these things. The WNBA is at an all-time high. Now, what I don't want them to do is miss the moment, because this is about people. I saw all those players play. I saw, Sue Bird, all those players, even going back to the McGee twins at USC and Cheryl Miller, the greatest player ever. All those players. None of those players were Caitlin Clark, though.
I would agree with that.
Okay? Like, I watched those. That was my era. None of those players were Caitlin Clark. None of those had the ability, and they didn't have the 25-year history of women's basketball now to catapult them into real TV deal, real money deal. What y'all need to be concentrating on, not as if do they hate each other, is how the heck can our top 100 players earn $125,000 a year?
How do we monetize our brand?
We can't even dress our girls up every game, every day.
They're going to change that.
They can't wear jewelry.
They're going to come start giving them some gear to wear because they should be, yes. But no, they can't. They can't afford it. They can't afford to live in New York City. But you got to I agree with you, monetization. And it's like, but don't let this spin. You
got the first woman, Asia Wilson. She's got her own basketball shoe. I think they sold out in 3 hours.
Really?
Okay. She's back-to-back MVP, been a world champion, college champion, and now Caitlin Clark. Like, these are the pillars. Angel Reese, these are the pillars that you're able to build off of so that now that you can monetize it so that everyone benefits from it. Everyone benefits. Mark this moment and take advantage of it. It shouldn't be at conflict. These women do not hate each other. And is anyone going to discuss Angel Reese two-hand shove Caitlin Clark's teammate in the back to get an offensive rebound? Caitlin Clark responded to the ref like this: "You're not going to call that?" And then she went and fouled her.
Correct.
Like, because she was sitting there and watched her. I watched somebody blatantly pushed in the back. Guess what? That's my teammate. I'm going to respond.
I'm being a good teammate.
And she did the right thing by walking away so she don't get that smoke. Angel Reese is not.
No, she don't want that.
No.
No, that's
and she did the right thing. That's good for her brand and everything.
The logo, but she don't need that. That's not what she needs. She's not ready for that.
Yes.
But also, like, I've never seen in the I've never seen the NBA, NFL. It's like everybody wants to jump immediately to make this black and white between two of them.
But this is the world people live in. Like, this is the world, because what you say, your collection of thoughts, what you say is who you are. And now everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a platform. If you're on X, like I can say anything. Most of these people's opinion, for years, we didn't care anything about, didn't hear anything about it. So for me, it's just more people being invited to the party, but I still don't care what they say because they don't have anything to do with sport.
Correct. They have no idea.
They don't understand sport. It's just like I don't understand their office dynamics. They don't understand my office dynamics.
Correct. But you're not talking about their office dynamics.
No, because I don't care.
Because I don't know. I don't care.
And I'm smart enough to know not to be dabbling in other people's business.
I'm going to tell you what, I don't know.
That's the number one cause of death in the black community. It's not hypertension. It's not blood pressure. It's meddling. Yeah, meddling in other people's business, man. That's what it gets you whacked.
I didn't even know that. I'm in insurance.
It's number one. It's not diabetes.
Man, I didn't even realize that, dude.
It's not drugs.
Actuarial scientist, man. It's not my. It's meddling.
Number one.
Meddling. Number one is meddling. You got to know that moving forward.
Meddling in people's business.
Well, there are a lot of people meddling in that business. You'll be unhealthy for them.
Yeah.
So, all right. Michael Jordan is joining NBC as a, quote, special coordinator, unquote. During last week's upfronts, NBC announced that Jordan will be joining his NBA team in some capacity. They gave a vague moniker of special contributor, but didn't offer much else in the way of specifics. Since then, trickled in that Jordan is expected to appear in pre-taped segments rather than anything live or studio-based. They went on and on. Tarico, who will serve as the lead play-by-play for NBA, NBC, Told Dan Patrick, the roles evolve, and we're just honored to have him, yada, yada, yada. Why is Jordan doing this now, do you think, after all these years?
I think for the nostalgia, and I think because his heyday was on NBC and the NBA.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times, as a former player, they bring back things to your remembrance, and then they put together a package that you're like, okay, I can guarantee you they'll be taping a lot of these segments in Jupiter, where Mike spends a lot of his off time. I can guarantee you.
On the golf course?
I can guarantee you his country club or the things that his brand is on will be a part of that.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you they start releasing new Jordan shoes, re-releasing new Jordan shoes.
Yeah.
Because that's the business he's in. And I love the fact that as LeBron goes out of the game, Michael Jordan's coming back into the game. That right there will be worth watching. And because he said so little bit about basketball and opinion about basketball, it's going to be interesting to hear. I also would not be surprised if they don't bring back one of my heroes in Ahmad Rashad.
Really?
Because Ahmad and MJ are very close. And Ahmad did a lot of the interviews, hanging out and everything. So I could see Ahmad coming back and being a go-between to be able to do these pieces so they can get them in the can and then present them during the game. It's not like we see the NBA today. Michael Jordan is not going to be like Charles Barkley. He's not going to be like Shaq. No, he's not going to do like some of the former players that we have at ESPN. No, they're not going to do it that way.
Correct.
They're going to do it in a Jordan type fashion, but it's also going to allow the generation that didn't see him to be able to hear his voice and be able to implement the NBA coming back to NBC.
It's going to be amazing. Here's what Shaq said. You said Shaq. He said, they asked about Jordan. He said, first of all, if anybody says Michael Jordan is hating when he's talking about anything basketball-related, you're an idiot. The man is the only man on earth, this is one of my favorite sayings, with G19 classification. Shaq makes me laugh, boy. G19 higher than the President of the United States. Like, of course, there's a president. This guy can get behind closed doors, get shit done, yada, yada, yada. So he said, but I like this take. He said, if Jordan says the guy is good, right? If you ain't good, you ain't good. I don't care how many points you're averaging. If Jordan says you should do this, you should do it. Like, of all the times, instead of being in your feelings in today's world, just listen to what the greatest players ever played the game has to say. I would love to be playing right now, like Shaq tries to go to the middle. Maybe he should use his finesse game. You know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to hear that shit. I'm going to go home, practice all my finesse game, and then the next game I'm going to be trying to show Mike, hey, Mr. Jordan, I have finesse in my game today. Or two. How many players you think like that in today's world?
Very few. Like very, very, very few. Like I have a great relationship with Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Like almost every time he sees me, and especially typically I see him a lot when they're starting training camp, he's like, oh, man, what do I need to work on?
Straight, and he means it.
I mean, dead serious.
Okay.
He's like, so I'm doing the interview. He's coming out the locker room, and I finish the interview. He's like, pick out 3 things I need to work on for this year. That was before last season. Hey, man, hey, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I just got here, man. What's up? Yeah.
But that's how those special guys are. So I would say, a handful. I would say it's the Tom Brady effect. Now, on TV, Tom is calling the game, so he can't do that, like if he was in the studio. But I guarantee you, if Tom Brady, whatever he would say, man, people would be picking his words like, man, next time I'm going to make sure that Tom Brady, I'm going to let him know that I took his tips and I was working on it because of respect of the GOAT.
Do you think more guys in the NFL do that than the NBA? Or do you think it's the same?
I think it's relatively the same. Okay. I think that because
but just not as many. You said there's not as many dudes just think the way Shaq just talked about.
Yes, just in general.
Just in general.
Next
if Tom
level.
Brady or
like,
MJ.
I'm talking about Hall of Fame thinkers. Like you can still be a great player and not be a Hall of Fame thinker.
Correct. But that are able to say, you know what, I don't care what I did. If I scored 40 points and 20 rebounds, if Mike says I need to be more finesse, I'm getting more finesse.
Yes.
And I'm going to show Mr. Jordan that I built more finesse.
Yes. Now, the thing about Michael Jordan is going to be interesting to me, the most thing is I want to see how he evaluates talent because that's his only weakness.
Correct.
I want to hear what he says about players, or does he avoid it and have like stock answers. And he's not necessarily getting into critiquing players, but critiquing the game, critiquing teams. That's what because Michael Jordan's judgment as far as a basketball player and what makes another guy a great basketball player, to me, is very average. Like, he does not have a sixth sense. It's like Jerry West. No, he's not that. He's not Danny Ainge.
Well, I was going to
No, he's not. No, he's not that.
He wasn't Danny
He
Ainge.
has picked some bad players, bro. That, at some point, has to be addressed.
Do you think he'll take that on?
No.
MJ ain't going to take that on.
They got pre-tape, man. It's always going to be.
So he's going to get pre-tape. Because Tony Kukoc, who I didn't like, I'll be honest with you, while I was playing, said Michael Jordan will always be the greatest for me, but he was not very successful as general manager. When he and Phil, who was a phenomenal coach, came into their new roles, they didn't do very well. That's the difference. In Washington, one of the most infamous moves he had a hand in was drafting Kwame Brown as the #1 pick in 2001. Yeah. Detroit Pistons might want to thank MJ, though, because it went on and on and on. And Jordan said in a recent interview with Marvin Shanken, he said, I have no patience for coaching. My biggest problem from a competitive standpoint is the focus of today's athlete and the focus where I saw the game. How I pursued the game, it changes and it's totally different. For me to ask an individual to focus on the game the way I played it, in some ways would be completely unfair for that kid to have to endure that. I don't think I would have the patience for it. So in essence, coaching is something that I've never really could do from an emotional standpoint. I'm much different and I have a different perception about things than the kids today do. Is that a fair way to put it or no?
No, Michael Jordan has a different perspective of anybody on any universe in any era.
Because he's Michael Jordan?
Man, the way he went about things. I was listening to an interview, I think it was with Craig Hodges, the three-point specialist. He said that when he was on the team, Michael Jordan did not lose one wind sprint ever.
In any practice, they were
ever.
Dude, his cardio was just that stupid good. Like, he'd play two rounds of golf. And
he said one day he was feeling not great, so he goes to the shoot-around. They have a shoot-around at 1. After the shoot-around, the bus takes him back to the hotel. He stops the bus at a hole-in-the-wall bar. Tell them, drop me off. Pick me up on the way back to the game. They dropped him off after the 1 o'clock shoot-around. Came back 3 hours later. Michael was drunk. They said he was laughing and giggling and everything. Went in the locker room, got suited up. Said he had 34 at halftime.
NBA basketball game.
Yes.
Drunk.
Regular season.
It's a different dude.
He's playing every game, man. 82 games this year. 82 games the next year. 82 games. Like,
and he's playing both sides of the court
the
entire game.
No, you cannot. There is no error. There are only a handful of human beings that even understand that. And then let alone, oh, yeah, I can do that. I can match that. Now you're talking about Mike Tyson type stuff. Greg LeMond's type. Guys in unbelievable shape. No, man.
And also before, there were times where people were doing shit to their body that they couldn't do.
Oh, yeah.
Bikers. I mean, I'm just saying, nope, Jordan was just like that, right?
Jordan smoked a bunch of cigars.
Yeah.
Drank.
Drinking and smoking cigars is not using testosterone and HGH, bro. No, Jordan was just being Jordan.
Jordan was one of the first people to hire
Tim Grover.
As a strength specialist, traveling around the country, around the world with them. Like, he was one of the first ones to ever do that. Invest in his body and everything. So,
dude, he told us, remember I had Tim Grover at one of my meetings, and he said, you know what Jordan paid me for? And I said, yeah, and I went through what I thought. He said, no. Jordan said, I pay you to not work with anybody else. The shit you know and the shit you taught me, nobody else knows. He let him at the end of his career, when he was done, Kobe. You can go to Kobe now.
Right.
But until then, he said, I pay you. You
right.
don't fuck with nobody else. You don't talk to nobody else. You're with me. What you got,
I don't want anybody to know what you know.
No, when I'm out,
right.
I'll pick the guy that you can go to, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe got it, and then Dwayne Wade, I think, is a Chicago guy. Yep. He ended up branching out.
And I said, what was the difference between Kobe and MJ? He said, Kobe wanted to know everything. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? He just wanted. Jordan's like, just tell him what to do, bro. If it's your world, you tell him what to do. I don't need to know. Don't just tell me what to do. I'll do it.
Yep.
I got it, and I'll do it as long as it works. Pretty crazy, dude, when he's telling the story about him going out there. He was a college kid, knocking on his place, and Jordan giving him a shot.
Yes.
You know, unbelievable. So, all right, we're going to wrap up with comments. First one's about Jordan. Tara R. Zing Lives. Jordan won in the 90s and was the only team with 3 to 4 Hall of Famers because expansion watered down the talent. It only evened out when foreign players got great. Kind of hard to understand.
Okay, well, first of all, if you look at the teams before Jordan, that being the Celtics and the Lakers, they had multiple Hall of Famers also. All right, so the super teams were there. All right, they had multiple superstars. And then for the Bulls to be able to get through, they had to get through Detroit. So we know Detroit has at least 2 Hall of Famers, and then also Rodman was there. So Rodman's a Hall of Famer. So now they got Dumas, they got my boys Zeke the Freak, Isaiah Thomas, and then they got Rodman there. And then other very good role players. Lambeer, Edwards, all that. So they had all that. Mark Aguirre got him from Dallas in a trade. And then here comes Michael Jordan. It was Michael Jordan and Pippen. Then they added Tony Kukoc. They added Ron Harper. And then they added Rodman.
Correct.
But out of that, there's really only 3 Hall of Famers. That's Rodman
and Rodman
Pippen.
would be accounted for both teams.
Yes.
So they had 2.5 each.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Yep.
You know, they grew that team organically.
All right. Same Tara. Now Tara switched. Tara switched to the Saints. Saints.
I love we have some females.
Saints
watching.
still have Alvin Kamara, right? I don't think that is a gimme for the Giants. I don't think that is a gimme. Oh, you're saying the Saints might. I'm sorry. We were saying that. No, we were excited. The Giants are excited to play the Saints because they have a shot. We don't say gimme, but we're talking about the schedule early in the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And when they get the Saints week 6, 7, we're like, hell, maybe they can pick their head up. Or week 5.
No one's going to be rating their roster for their talent.
No.
But
But you got
it's
Kamara.
A relief. It's a relief.
But you got Kamara, you certainly got a chance to beat the Giants with just Kamara. I would definitely agree with that. The Giants were just looking for some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. Gregory Lee, 97.3. Giants want Archie Manning. You were talking about the Mannings and how intentional they are and the whole deal and helping us look forward to that year, and that would be pretty freaking amazing. Monopoly.
No, the Giants do not want Archie Manning. The general manager.
No, the Mannings you said want him.
Excuse me?
I thought you said that we should watch the Giants to see if they end up with Arch.
No, we should. But I'm telling you, the Giants general manager, he does not want the conversation about Archie. The reason why is because they're going to be horrible if they're having a conversation.
That's true. Okay.
Right? The head coach.
Well, guess what?
The reason why they didn't draft Shador.
Yeah.
Because about the Dion threat.
Correct. Because he was threatened.
They don't
insecure about it.
They do.
Well, hey, guess what? Neither one of them are going to be around. There's no chance either one of them dudes are around when Archie Manning comes out of college. But Monopoly Manufacturing. How is first in the East a bad Cavs team? Dude, they played really bad in the playoffs. They got smoked.
No, well, the thing about it is, okay, let's just
breathe
relax.
for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, okay. First of all right, what you can do in the regular season and what you can do in the postseason, we should watch the last 2 postseasons to see that. You can win a lot of games and not transfer because the overall defensive intensity, and also the last 2 playoffs, even the last 5 playoffs. Look at the injuries. And look at the key guys getting hurt. I mean, Cleveland was missing 3 starters, okay? They blew one game. Couldn't rebound the ball off a free throw twice. So they gave away a game. They had 3 guys missing time. And Garland, their point guard, his toe injury, to me, that team was totally out of sync. I think that even though they do have 2 big men, they're not the most physical big men. And when you get to the playoffs, you could see that made a big difference. The Pacers were far more physical than the Cavs. So I'm not totally done with the Cavs. I just realized that basketball and styles of basketball, it changes during the postseason, and no one can overcome these injuries. Boston couldn't do it. Golden State couldn't do it. Cleveland couldn't do it.
Well, and to your point, and maybe I don't remember it last year, the year before that, the physicality this year, to me, first of all, I love to watch it.
Yes.
But it just seems like you're right. Like even watching first game of OKC, I'm like, dude, who's going to cover Shea? Like, how's he get 12 to 18 feet from the hoop whenever he wants to, and shoot the ball off the dribble? Yeah. No, and I'm like, guess who can cover him? The guys on his team are probably the only ones that can check him. So they got nobody that can cover him. They can't put a body on him. They don't knock him around. He moves around the paint.
And we don't watch that defensive stuff during the regular season. Especially now if it was NFL and the team was number one in 8 different categories, we know.
Correct. But we'd also watch the NFL every week. The NBA, you can sleep on it for a month or two and be like, I'm back now. I'm ready to go. Like, let me know we're a week away from the season. Dudes start playing hard, and the refs start swallowing their whistle. Stop calling everything. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Keith, Anna Sanford. I think I got that right, bro. CC, you got to get back on TV.
No.
R. Sturdy, 4045. Let me jump the comment for you. Said, no, he's fine right here being able to say what he wants. No filter.
Yeah.
But you say no
Turn the camera outside, man, and show them what we're looking at.
Yo, this is better than
TV. If ESPN comes to Boca Raton, then I'll sign
do that next time. Drew can look right down to Intercoastal with that bad boy. All right. Wayne Yam, 2025's best sportscast. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, bro.
Wayne.
Shout out.
Mr. Bling, 67. Great info, fam. Love it.
Mr. Bling. Hey, don't be walking around without no security with that bling, man. Antonio Brown.
And don't be meddling either.
Yeah.
That's my favorite takeaway from the podcast today. Death. Don't be the cause of death. Actual scientists now say it's number one cause of death. All right.
Not diabetes, not hypertension.
Keon Pleasant, not cancer, 2516. That is why. You got to tell us why, though, Keon. He said that is why y'all shouldn't talk basketball. Well, what? What did we say you didn't like, bro? You got to be more specific in your comment and your criticism or your critique or your constructive criticism. I don't know what it was that we said that you said made us not be able to talk basketball. But if you told us and we could talk about it, I just don't know what it is.
I love basketball.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get too technical with basketball. And you got to come up with at least a more original comment.
Well, just give us something.
If a guy's a basketball player, you're like, hey, man, I don't want you talking about football. Well, why shouldn't we be talking about football? You got idiots on TV doing podcasts. They ain't done nothing athletic. So there's a better chance of me understanding basketball as a former NFL player.
100%.
And my brother played basketball in the NBA for 7 years. And I scored 1,600 points in high school, All-State a couple of times. Yeah. Like, if we were talking baseball, high school, I wouldn't be participating. But you can shut us down.
Hey, if you're going to make a point about something you don't agree with, make the point about something you don't agree with. You all said this. Chris said that. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Cool with that.
If you want to make the podcast better, make your comments better.
You got to make a better case of that, bro. All right. Introverted, extrovert. Yeah. 99. LeJuice James only has longevity on MJ, and that's it. Due to modern medicine and technologies, his LBJ prioritized losing in stats over winning.
No, I doubt that. LeBron is a stat stuffer from his first game in the NBA, because that's his skill level. At 6'9", he can see over the defense. He has unbelievable instincts, and he's unselfish. He rebounds the basketball. So all these things are going to happen. They've always happened.
Correct.
If you look at his average, I think since high school, I think it's like 28, 8, and 9, something like that.
Stupid. Yeah, it's stupid.
That's what he does. So now, okay, God blesses him with that body, and then God gives him that mindset. And then guess what he said? I'm going to invest my money in my body. That's how we've gotten to the LeBron James thing. And if you're talking about the comparison with Jordan, you need to stay on the longevity. Stay on longevity and stay on the numbers, because that's the only thing that you have an edge at. Michael Jordan did not have a weak spot. He did not have a fundamental skill that he cannot do. So you can't talk about that. And then he's undefeated in championships, 6 times MVP in the championships, even after taking a 3-year break. So those are the conversations you need to be having if you want to sound smart.
And he may not have been used in modern medicine and technology like these guys do, but he was smoking cigars, drinking beer, and still fucking people up. So he is a special kind of dude.
Yeah, Mike was still in great shape.
Of course he was,
he understood.
Dude.
I mean, we talked about that.
Yeah,
hiring Tim Grover,
100%. All right. Vigil's a Thing, most underrated channel on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kustamozinic. 1914. Those sharks are beautiful. Well, we think the sharks are beautiful, too.
No, they are.
It's beautiful down there.
Especially when they stay in the tank. A couple of them tried to get out the tank
You start
last
meddling
week.
in there.
Oh,
you start
there we
meddling
go.
there, dude. You don't have to worry about your diabetes. You ain't got none, but you don't have to worry
Matter
about
of
that.
fact, in our comments, if you start meddling with our show, guess what? We're going to bring you to Sean's house, and we're going to put a hand in there. Let you put a hand in there.
No, we're going to give
I'm
you
going to hold your hand
some of the
in
shrimp that they eat. Put it around you. Leave your hand in there for a little bit. See if
they'll leave you some nubs.
They might leave you some. Depends. The big one may not. That one may not. So, well, listen, man. I appreciate you. Thanks. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you for all the love. We'll talk to y'all next week.